What's good, YouTube, and welcome to the house. John, just get to the cards. Why is there a figure on my screen? I want Market Watch 24/7 every single day of the week. Why haven't you been doing it? Well, I do it when I want to do it and when I find things interesting. And the first thing that I found very interesting is that Ami Ami is having an exclusive sale of the Artworks Monsters Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters Blue Eyes White Dragon complete figure. So it's saying that only Ami Ami and a very exclusive few other stores will be able to have this, meaning we might not actually get an American release for this figure. 161 is a very steep price for a figure that I think isn't even a foot tall. Yeah, 280 millimeters at the tip of its wing, I assume here. And here's a Figma for size comparison. So yeah, I think it's barely under a foot tall from the wings. Yeah, that's a lot of money for this, isn't it? But we go back and look at the Good Smiles artwork series, Blue Eyes White Dragon, which released around $650. Where does that sit now? I haven't seen one sell for under $1,999 in a very long time. I think the lowest listed are damaged ones, and the 3,000 range and the 5,000 range on eBay. You literally cannot find this. So, releasing, I believe, December 20th here on Ami Ami for sale. On sale soon, yeah, December 20th. So very soon. We'll have this figure come out, and it will be released in June. So if you want to buy this, if you have any interest in figures and you're an addict like me, I don't think it's worth the price for the figure, even though it's an amazing representation of Blue Eyes. I think I've got to get one, if not to invest in for my own. Yeah, I like Yu-Gi-Oh! Figures. So, for all you on the either Slave to the Figures gang or Rich gang, you might want to pick yourselves up one of these. So, I've been putting Sky Strikers more towards the end of Market Watch when I've been covering them, but they have been falling hard. Last time we covered Engage was after the YCS, I believe, in Milan, and now it's gone from $48 then, keeps going down. Yeah, of course, that's because the independent sellers are going to end up listing theirs. Unlimited is the lowest, but it's just this continual listing of undercutting. And when we come in here, let's actually click buy it now. We come in here to look at Engage. Yeah, similarly, 43, 44, 44. So what's happening to this deck? Nothing's wrong. It's got a couple more YCSs. It's likely to be legal for YCS Chicago. Well, that no sooner than date does expire before Chicago, and we've seen lists ahead of time before, but I have a feeling we're going to see Savage Strike impact the meta before they come up with a list. So you've got time to play with this, but it's continuing to go down. Widow Anchor at 25 from, I think, around the 30 when we last showed it. It's really interesting to see just this lack of faith that, oh man, this is gonna go, because it keeps doing so well at events. And yeah, Konami tends to hit things that do very well at events. So I think it's a natural progression that, hey, we're going to continue to see this to fall. We're going to continue to see Creepy Ray artwork. But yeah, we're definitely going to continue to see Sky Strikers fall in price. I don't know where the bottom is. I don't know if it's $20 for Widow Anchor again, 40 for Engage, 35. People are just going to keep jumping ship as the ship heads towards that iceberg that is an inevitable ban list, likely before the WCQ season really gets into the true heat of things, as we learn what our ban list will be for the WCQ. I don't think Sky Strikers will be completely dead, if I'm honest. I don't think they'll hit it hard enough, but I've been wrong before. I was wrong on the last list. They didn't touch it at all. It was a very minimal list. Ban lists are always speculation, so you're going to see a lot of speculation into selling things on the market. Looking over at the side sets, it's super interesting when we talk about side sets now, because they continue to get legacy support. Magical Muskets not only are getting a Link monster, but now they're getting a trap that allows you to special summon others from the hand, so you kind of get rid of that problem they once had of getting monsters onto the field. Yet Caspar didn't react at all to the trap. It's still down at $10. Basically the original hype of even the Link monster, it's gone back down. So it's a wonderful time to get yours if you want them. There's very few on the market from the initial reaction to the Link monsters, but if you're considering this, I would sooner than later go for it. I don't think with the Link Brains Pack 2 card or the trap that we'll get reprints of these. Instead, we'll see them probably come in the same set together when when we finally get it. Speaking of cheap for magical muskets, Starfire is actually way down there too. So really cool to see them continue to look at the side sets and be like, this isn't a one and done. We're going to continue to take care of it. It makes me think of the Myakashis, actually, as we get into, of course, Prank Kids hype taking over, but the Myakashis have such potential, and they're very, very cheap right now. So for how cheap that they are, I would consider picking them up sooner than later, because zombie decks, it just feels like one card could really bust things in, but there's plenty of awesome, cheap cards from this set. And actually, Roar and Roaster going on down even further. Doodle Doo is chilling back out, and Prank Kids Play still towards $18. It seems like the most stable high-end card is people aren't ripping open this pack with excitement, hoping to pull these because, well, the sealed product is unlikely to yield profit if you're just hunting Prank Kids Play. So those that have opened it still seem to be selling it for 18 though, and it hasn't chilled out. A lot of people were like, yeah, this won't really keep it up, but we're here a week later and the hype is still behind the Prank Kids, and I think well deserved so. That shot heard round the meta with Prank Kids. I think it was an amazing accomplishment, and a lot of people are truly interested in it. We saw, like I said, TCG Player showed the top sales were Prank Kids cards along with the new special edition promos. That's pretty cool. Soul Fusion continues to drop in certain places. Thunder Dragon Colossus hanging really close to 50 and just clawing and digging in there, barely dripping under. I don't know that we'll see it go too much cheaper, and I think after the WCQ like list is here, the one we're gonna get to use, I don't think they'll hit this too hard, and I really do think it might go up during that season, as we often see meta decks that people tend to dig into do. So I think that a lot of people were asking me, should I get rid of this now and pick it back up later? No, this is actually the optimal time to kind of pick up Thunder Dragons. Unfortunately, it's still very expensive, but Battles of Legend and the Megatins are the only things that'll bring it down. This was like, what, hanging around 32? Now we see some under 30. Trap Trick was hanging around 18 to 19. Now we see a bunch under 17. Special editions are just awesome, and the GameStop sale really probably helped out for those who packed way better than me in that last pack opening. Thunder Dragon Dark still hanging a little above 10, and Dragon Roar continues to dip. I wonder if this OCG copy actually gets people to like get okey-doked and list things lower. But Real Good Deal has 850 ones and 19 copies of them. Pretty insane. So yeah, the Thunder Dragon's still expensive overall, but they keep getting cheaper. For those that have been watching, I think it's one of the optimal times to get them. Although, again, ban lists are always speculation. And everything else dropping down thanks to the Unlimiteds. Thank you, special editions, especially ones with good promos. And that future Jump promo import that was announced. I was looking over at Legendary Duelist White Dragon Abyss, and it's held the worst value in terms of trying to stay up where it was initially at. Bingo Machine Go continues to fall. I think this is actually up $2 when we last looked. The Orbital, I think, was at 10, but you have spread out value overall compared to the other ones where you had to like 2 to 3 $20 plus cards and then everything kind of stays. Like, this one has spread out value, but then it really just hangs around the value of getting your pack back, or, you know, something like that. And it's weird. It's a weird feeling to look through this pack and see where it's developed. What do you guys think? Do you think all Legendary Duelists are just overinflated and that they, you know, sell as casual bait more so than the side sets? That this one's a YCS and it's still not up there with Bingo Machine Go, you know? Is it just kind of overinflated naturally and we're seeing a fallout that's natural progression for the market? Chaos Form is something I wanted to bring up. There is a budget common for now, but if there's not a reprint as the Dark Magician Ritual comes out that people will want to try, I could see it becoming $1 common, and then I could see these other versions slowly rising back up. It would be weird not to see it released to enable it within the pack of Dual Power, especially since it's such nostalgia bait along with meta cards. So I could see it being one of the dead pulls as an ultra rare, but at the same time, if they do miss it, I think this could be going up. So maybe get yours sooner than later if you predict it want. And of course, the commons are completely cheap and easy to get right now if it doesn't appear in there. I just saw Alistair was way down here when I was looking at the Valkyrie. Since we have TCG cards, I wanted to bring it up one more time. I personally don't think it'll be good. They need way more than what a couple of cards can solve if it's even more than one card. So again, more side set support coming in a main set, and this time it's TCG exclusive stuff. But I don't know. They have one of the most busted cards of all time. Can they break it in a core set? Just kind of raising that awareness back that we're going to get support. What do you guys think about this? Personally, for me, it's a yikes, but any little bit of brokenness tends to hype stuff like this that's harder to get at cheap prices. Cyber Dragons, we got Nashter coming. Just another reminder. I think I've kind of hit this home a couple of times, but the Cyber Dragons really are better than I think people give them credit for, and they're relatively cheap for you guys. Also, Jackalope crept up on me. Last I knew, he was $9, and of course, used in a lot of the Danger decks. We're looking at 13s on him now, while Bigfoot... will these swap places? They might. Jackalope might become worth more than Bigfoot slowly. That's crazy to me. That card is so good. And Boral Sword sitting at 80. Pretty big. Brilliant Fusion has gone up on all fronts except Ultimate Rare, and I think they were available at 30, so maybe a little 10% increase. But we see $7 and climbing. And then we also see the Super Rare is up there. I would get the Secret Rare personally over that, but yeah, all versions. So the Secret is barely above. And you can still get it about the same price, but only 12 prices available. I don't think this is just Thunder Dragons, but it could be, question mark. I would go ahead and get the Ultimates if you've been holding off, because it kind of like Ultimate Instant Fusion. This is just bound to eventually go up, get used in certain metas, get hyped for certain metas. And I wouldn't necessarily hold off on it. I think it's a really good pickup at the price that it's at, and I do think it's undervalued. We'll probably eventually need another reprint of Brilliant Fusion if this keeps up, kind of similar to Nat Beast, where it gets old and everything ends up above $10 and we need access to it again. And the final tab, just a note, the Megatins, while the top values got hit, Borreload hasn't got anywhere yet. Evenly Matched has slipped down just a little bit, just a couple dollars, so not the panic sale button yet. For people, but Inspector Border is actually cheaper than I remember. It's towards that $5 mark by one seller, or $6, more so $6, I guess. But still, it continues to go down from that $7 to $8 it was at. And just for those who were thinking of stun decks or picking it up, it's a really solid pull from the Megatins. And Bomber Dragon too, doing pretty well. Everything else keeps getting the extra reprint, so to speak, and Bomber Dragon, it's not to be underestimated, and I see it in more and more builds where people are bringing something back behind it. So consider Bomber Dragon, while it's cheap, sooner than later. I think it'll go under the reprint radar compared to cards like Borreload that have their alter art. Thanks for watching so much. What did you think of today's Market Watch? I know I led with a figure, but it's what matters to me, and my content is going to be what I personally enjoy. I'm always going to keep it that way, and even if it's an over-expensive figure like this that's ridiculous. We've seen a past example of a Blue Eyes figure that, way bigger, albeit, went completely off the market and went crazy in price, so I think this is something to pay attention to, and we might not get a USA release of this, so worth looking at if you're consider shopping. I'll link that down below. I do have a P.O. box for any of you people who really love me and want to send me stuff, but jokes aside, it is down below if you want to send anything, and Patreons can get stuff signed and sent back. And subscribe if you haven't already. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed the discussion. Let me know what you want to see more of on Market Watch. I've been meaning to do more collectible cards than just collectibles for you guys. Thanks for watching.